You've probably never heard this in the pediatrician's office, but this is one of the most important things to understand about your baby's sleep development. You kind of only get one chance to develop good, healthy sleep habits with your baby, and most parents miss this. Ever felt like you're the only parent in the world where your baby wakes up every 45 minutes in the middle of the night? We were this way too. Sometimes our little girl would sleep for 30 minutes and sometimes only for 7. And here's the kicker: never in the crib. It was really only for decoration in the very beginning. I used to think that we had a sleep problem, but really what I now understand is we had a sleep expectations problem. Today, we're diving into what normal infant sleep actually looks like. And spoiler, you're probably actually doing a little better than you think. So sleep is one of the biggest stressors for new parents in particular. And it's also one of the most misunderstood. So when our little girl was born, I thought something was wrong because she wasn't sleeping through the night by 3 months old. But it turns out that's not only normal, it should have been expected. I just didn't know the science behind it yet. So to start off, newborn sleep is wild, and that's actually okay. People think newborns should be on a consistent schedule right from the get-go. And the truth, well, that's really falls apart when it meets reality. Newborns sleep in what's called a polyphasic pattern, which means they just sleep in short bursts during the day, but also during the night. And that's because they don't really have a circadian rhythm yet. They develop that over the first couple of years of life. Most newborns need to sleep 18 to 22 hours in a 24-hour period, and that's normal. Newborns sleep in short, frequent bursts with no strong day or night rhythm until at least 3 months old. Feeding needs wake them up every 1 to 3 hours. In fact, newborns are kind of like college roommates. They eat at 2 in the morning, they nap at noon, they have no concept of personal space, and they never clean up after themselves. So even though we start with a wild roller coaster, sleep is supposed to change over the next 3 to 9 months. So the common misconception that parents have is that by 6 months, we should be sleeping through the night. And that's still not entirely true. Somewhere between 3 and 6 months, and this is where sleep regression usually falls, our night stretches of sleep are starting to consolidate. What that means is we're actually starting to develop a little bit of a normal sleep cycle. We're developing a little bit of REM sleep. We're developing a little bit of deep sleep in this time period. And our daytime sleep gradually drops down, where we'll be awake for more and more and more hours during the day. And our time to fall asleep actually should be shortening. Somewhere between 6 and 9 months, baby actually starts to develop some self-soothing skills. Nighttime feedings usually reduce, and sometimes they'll go away completely. But up to 40% of parents still report some struggles and issues with sleep even as late as 8 months old. In fact, one study actually shows that variability is high in sleep consolidation, and it's a gradual process. Not all babies hit the same sleep milestones on the same time schedule. Think of that transition in sleep consolidation more like a dimmer switch than a light switch. It doesn't happen automatically or overnight. It is going to be a slow process for some people. So if your 6 to 9 month old is still waking up in the middle of the night, don't worry. They're not broken, and you're not broken. It's actually normal. So finally, what about later on once we reach a year old? Isn't a baby supposed to sleep through the night perfectly at that point in time? Well, the answer again is kind of no. Nighttime sleep becomes more predictable in that 9 to 12 month time frame, but it's still not always consistent. Typically, babies are going to be able to sleep 10 to 12 hours through the night somewhere around 1 year old. Most babies will still take at least 2 at a year old, sometimes even 3 naps during the day, and our sleep variability starts to decrease. So somewhere in that 9 to 12 month range, we are starting to get much more onto a normal circadian rhythm and schedule, just like an adult would be. However, we still need to pay attention to our tired and sleep cues at that time. By a year old, the circadian rhythm is well established. It's still not fully mature, and it won't be until somewhere around 2, 3, or 4 years old for some children. But it is developed and well established. So here's some encouragement. Don't put your baby's sleep on a chart, and do not compare them to your friend next door who has that perfect Instagram story. Compare your child to their own growth over their own time scale and measure those small milestones and small achievements. What matters is progress, not perfection. So as a reminder, from 0 to 3 months, babies sleep in a polyphasic pattern, and it's incredibly fragmented. They will sleep for 30 minutes or 3 hours, but pretty much nothing inside or outside of that time range because they have to wake up in order to eat. Somewhere between 3 and 6 months, we'll start to develop some longer nighttime stretches. What I like to see in the families that I take care of is somewhere between 5, 6, or 7 hours at a time, but we still need to wake up and eat at least once or twice during the night, if not more than that at this point. And somewhere between 6 and 9 months, those nighttime feedings are going to drop down, usually only to once, and we're going to start to get a slightly longer stretches and a little bit more regularity in our sleep cycle. And by the time we reach a year old, we're mostly sleeping through the night incompletely. It's okay if a 1-year-old still wants to wake up in the middle of the night for a feeding. In fact, most babies will not completely consolidate their sleep cycle in the roughly 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock window until, again, 2 or 3 years old. That's why they always wake up in the middle of the night. And again, that's driven by, as an infant, we had to wake up at least that one time in order to eat. So somewhere around 1 year, we have a developed circadian rhythm, but it's still maturing and it still needs a little bit of routine. And remember, all of this is normal development. So tonight or this weekend, instead of focusing on how little sleep is actually happening in your baby's crib as you watch them on the monitor, focus on the milestones and focus on the development and be thankful for the little bit of sleep that they do have. Now, if you need some advice on how to help babies sleep better, or yourself for that matter, check out this video up here, where I talk a little bit about what basic sleep hygiene should look like for babies as well as for adults. And if you like content like this, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons down below. You know the drill. One, it promotes the channel, and 2, it helps me understand what videos you guys actually want to see. So drop a comment down below. Tell me, 1, your wildest sleep story. 2, what tricks or hacks actually worked for you when you were trying to get your baby or your toddler to sleep better. Or 3, drop me your favorite dad joke about sleep. And if I laugh out loud when I read it, I'll use it in the next video on sleep.